Hi, I'm Christina.
And I'm Christine. Welcome to Stereo Thematica.
Music is the heartbeat of our lives and the connective tissue of our friendship. Christine and I met at work in LA, but when I moved to Texas, we started a weekly challenge. Pick a song that fits a chosen theme.
This game opened us to new perspectives on each other and deepened our understanding of the songs that shape our lives. Each week, we recreate the magic of our song exchange on a broader scale. Hey there.
Oh, hello. I wanted to ask you about a music thing.
Oh, tell me.
Well, I have a vinyl collection that's actually quite small. I love the records that I have, but I don't have a lot of them because I think I'm very bad at shopping for vinyl.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I only somewhat recently got back into shopping for vinyl, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I was big on it when I was in high school, especially when I was 15. I would take the bus to Anaheim from Huntington Beach. It took 2 hours to go 20.
What?
Yes. 2 hours, a couple of transfers. This is in Orange County. So
Wow.
public transportation,
That's LA
not the
public
greatest.
transit, yeah.
And it was, 2 hours, but there were two great record stores, Beggar's Banquet and Pepperland Records.
Oh, cool.
I have a feeling they're no longer there, but we would go there and just spend the day shopping for records. And now I have CD Trader, which is in Tarzana. The name doesn't sound anything special, but it's a great record store. And they also sell CDs and they buy CDs and they have a great collection of vinyl, new and used. And Saturdays, I have a little routine, not every Saturday, but I stop off at the record store, buy a record, and then sometimes get a bottle of wine. At the wine store,
because
there's a wine.
Combo.
Well, there's a wine store across the street, and then there's a really cool nursery.
Plants, wine, records. Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah. So what about you?
I don't have a lot of patience, so it's very hard. And I never know. I just am one of those people, I'm not ever looking for something.
Yeah.
I don't have something in mind. I'll just be whatever strikes my fancy. And I finally did something I've been wanting to do for a really long time this weekend. I went to the Houston Record Swap.
Ooh.
And that was fun. There's somebody in town, and they're called Good Junk Vintage. I found them on Instagram, and they host this monthly event, and it's at different bars around town, and people come and they're vendors, and they just sell records and or swap. And so cool. I was working up the nerve to go because I was feeling very self-conscious about the records I was going to swap. It was not stuff that I had picked out myself. It was things that people had gifted me, or I'd somehow.
I hope it wasn't
them.
Almendra.
No, absolutely not. That's a prized possession. But I did take I had an Isley Brothers record and some compilation that was not some greatest hits thing. But my mom actually ended up coming with me, which was really nice. And I told her, I was I was feeling a little bit anxious about going by myself. And she's well, I'd like to go. I didn't tell her, but she was I'd like to go check this out. And I was oh, good, because I was feeling self-conscious about going solo. But then I swapped 3 records, and I bought a couple, and it was really fun.
What'd you get?
Well, I got a Freddie Fender album. I got General Public, and I also got a Belle and Sebastian record.
Cool.
So no genre conformity, just all vibes. Feeling good. But it was fun. It was a really nice community too. Just people who all love music.
Yeah. It's definitely a certain crowd.
Yeah. Even when I went earlier this year to go buy your birthday present, the Talking Heads album, the re-release. It was a re-release,
it was,
right?
Yeah, because it had the special Arthur Russell
version.
cello playing on Psycho Killer.
But yeah, I'm feeling inspired. I put them all out on display today, and I was looking at them and admiring them and being okay, I can do this.
That's fun.
Well, anyway, should we jump in?
Okay, let's do it.
I am laughing a little bit to myself because last week when I ended the show, I hinted that we would be talking about nonsense. And I was actually alluding to a different theme that we had, or that actually I had selected earlier in the year, which I won't spoil since I'm sure we'll use it in a future episode. But it does make me laugh because you misinterpreted it, and you are the one you're way more prepared than I am. So you're usually getting the script ready, and you are keeping us on task and sending out the calendar invite and everything. So when I saw that you had said this was the episode that we were going to record, record today, which is, here, I'll reveal our theme, Lyrical Confusion. When I had said nonsense, I got a kick out of it because we were having our own confusion.
Okay. So I made some assumptions. And, okay, I think I actually know what the real nonsense theme is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. But can I share my rationale for the misunderstanding?
Of course, please.
Okay, so when
I demand it.
Yeah, you tease the theme. And then almost immediately after the episode, you like shared the theme, Lyrical Confusion.
Oh. Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, she probably just had that in her head that she was going to do it and then pitched the theme. And then I think I just jumped the gun because I love the theme. So, and
it makes sense.
Yeah. And in my mind, it wasn't that you were talking about nonsense in the sense of that other theme. I just thought you were kind of being vague to tease it.
I love to be vague, so that's fair, and I understand. But well, I'll give background for my lyrical confusion. So to me, lyrical confusion, it doesn't always mean nonsense, and I do think that a lot of times when the lyrics are confusing to me, it might have truly a very deep meaning to the songwriter.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
For example, do you know the song MacArthur Park by Richard Harris?
I feel like I do.
I'm sure.
It's in a movie, right?
Oh, yeah. What movie is that?
Beetlejuice.
Wait, really? Oh, Beetlejuice, the new one.
Oh, that's the new one?
The new movie, yeah. I've always known that song since I was little. I don't know why, but I think it's because it has that silly line that says, someone left the cake out in the rain.
Okay.
And it's like, and I'll never have that recipe again. It sounds so crazy and silly, but it was actually written by Jimmy Webb, and it's an allusion to Webb's ex-lover getting married. So he used to work in a building across the street from MacArthur Park, and he said he saw everything that's mentioned in the song he saw in real life. And he actually saw a cake left in the rain in MacArthur Park, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Or then there's like Cornflake Girl by Tori Amos, where, you know, what the heck is a cornflake girl?
Yeah.
I love that song, but I've never understood it.
Yeah.
And then it's actually a really deep and intense meaning. It's like an allusion to female genital mutilation and how women turn on other women. And maybe hopefully in a less serious way, Tori calls women who turn on you cornflake girls. So it was like a term that she had. So sometimes, I think I've mentioned this before, it can be a little bit easier to like enjoy a song without always like looking up the meanings, because it can be devastating.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Anyway, on to my pick. It's actually a song that made me pick this theme because I had this song and this confusing lyric in mind. It's one of my favorite songs. It's Swingin' Party by The Replacements, and the lyrics in question come in the first 10 seconds of the song. Somewhere there's a party. Here it's never ending. Can't remember when it started. Pass around the lampshade. You'll hear lead singer and songwriter Paul Westerberg sing, "Bring your own lampshade, somewhere there's a party." And that line always puzzled me. Like I do have a visual image of somebody wearing a lampshade on their head because they're so drunk and like being silly and zany, which I've never seen in real life, but I feel like it is a comedic trope that, you know, you are at the party and you're so like let loose that you've put a lampshade on your head. Like, where did that come from?
Well, I think that's been around for a while. I mean, 80s movies probably, but also there is an episode of The Office when Michael Scott is wearing a lampshade, and I think it's the Christmas party. So it's definitely a thing. This. Yeah.
It is a thing. And I actually Googled it. I found this article that was like, where did the drunks wearing lampshades like thing come from?
Yeah.
This was from like 2008. But apparently, to Westerberg, wearing a lampshade at a party might allow, you know, him to feign nonchalance in a social setting with an ease that he doesn't actually necessarily possess. So he's talked about how the band would drink really heavily to provide a way to kind of ease their jitters when they were going up on stage. And he said it was actually scary to play shows in front of people, which I can definitely imagine that, especially like if it's a tough crowd or if it's people who, you know, are imagining you as an idol and not necessarily as a real human. And I mean, also like if you're playing to punk crowds, like in punk venues, like people are intense.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So I think it's kind of like a beautiful softness for this band that's like often perceived as pretty rough around the edges. And I know you told me you weren't familiar with this song, but are you a fan of The Replacements?
I feel like The Replacements kind of like Sparks is one of those like gap bands. I could appreciate them on a certain level, but it's more theoretical, intellectual, but not like I'm not into their music.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting that you kind of align them with Sparks because I feel like they're both cult favorites. And like I love the Replacements, and I think a lot of that love came from like my time in college at the radio station when like after we'd leave the station we'd walk over to our favorite bar across the street, the Hole in the Wall. And someone would like without fail always put a Replacement song on the jukebox, which was really fun. And I just have like memories of sitting there like at the picnic tables outside and someone's putting on like Alex Chilton or some other, you know, amazing Swingin' Party was one of them. But it's kind of a tough story, the band themselves. Do you know how I love young musicians?
Yes. Yeah.
So Tommy Stinson, who's their bassist, was 11 years old when he started playing bass because
Is that a record? Is that a record for
it might be
the ones we've talked about?
I think he might have been 15 when their first album came out. I can't remember exactly, but like you'll look at their band like publicity photos and he looks like a baby. I mean, it's like if a little boy were pretending to be like tough and in a, you know, punk band or whatever. But his older brother, his older half brother was in the band too. And he actually gave him the bass to try to keep him out of trouble, which I think is really sweet. But nothing says trouble like joining a punk band at age 12. So Swingin' Party is from their fourth studio album, Tim, and Tommy was actually only 19 when they released that album, which I think is so crazy.
Wow.
If being afraid is a crime, we hang side by side at the swinging party down the line.
So I could do a whole deep dive, but really it's just that, I don't know, it feels very poetic, this line. It feels like something that, I don't know how he came up with the idea of like bring your own lampshade, because it feels very self-aware and also a little bit self-deprecating, but also funny, like funny in a way that, I don't know, it's almost like a sadness.
It's a sad, well, there's that hiding, like wanting to hide from the world.
Yeah,
it's like
absolutely
a bunch of drunk people, but like you're drinking to mask, to hide, to like have that social lubrication, but then that's not enough. You still need to like go deeper. So
totally. Yeah.
I could relate. Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah. They have another song called Nightclub Jitters, which, you know, this is kind of on par with this. And I don't know. It's sweet. I love it when a seemingly hard band can be like tender and raw and a bit vulnerable. So
the image is very strong for me when I listen to it. So
yeah. What lyrical confusion do you have for us, Christine?
Okay. So maybe before we get to my pick, and before we even get to my pre-pick, sorry, this is a lot. This is going to be a digression, I think. But
I love it.
Have you ever read Roland Barthes?
I don't think so, no.
French literary theorist.
Definitely not.
I wonder if people still read Roland Barthes in school.
You read it in school.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just like a pastime.
Oh, no. I mean, it has become a pastime.
Oh.
Yes. But his book, The Pleasure of the Text, was kind of my Bible. As soon as I read it for some film theory class, I'm like, oh my God, like this is how I relate to art. So let me tell you a little bit about that book. So for Barthes, the text's power lies in its capacity to like decenter meaning. And in doing so, it activates this ongoing desire in the reader. So this lack in meaning is the very point of jouissance. Now, jouissance is the French word for like ecstatic pleasure of not quite knowing and wanting more, and almost painfully so. So are you getting this?
I don't know.
Are you appreciating?
Yes, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Maybe I'm feeling ecstatic pleasure from not knowing and wanting to know more.
Exactly. So I'll give you a little bit more. So in wanting more, the reader, or in this case of music, the listener, enters into a relationship with the art. See where I'm going, kind of?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
So your mind wanders and you question about the lampshade you imagine and you want to know, but there's like also this beauty in not knowing. And so you can like appreciate it on a certain level, like, oh, this is just art. But then there's this part of you that's deep inside your head and you're like, but what is it? And then that you now become a part of this art. And I think what I loved about this theme, and probably why I was like, just like, oh yeah, this is the theme, is it's like, I think the best art is that like gives you that torturous pleasure, you know?
Yeah. Interesting though, because I've always, I think I feel that way sometimes about literature or maybe even like art that I'm looking at in a museum or something, but I don't think I've ever thought about that for music.
Yeah, well, the person I did not pick is Bob Dylan. But I do have to talk about him a little bit first.
Of course.
So a lot of people know Bob Dylan for his protest songs and some pretty straightforward lyrics. The times they are changing, blowing in the wind, those are actually my least favorite songs of his. But what I really fell in love with Bob, and I think why he got the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2016, the committee even said so, was for having created this new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition. Yeah. So for me, like more than his sense of justice, it was his ability to make unexpected connections, which at times feels like really lyrically confusing, but then they make you think harder. Like, what is he talking about? Why is he putting certain thoughts together? It's compelling me to like keep going back, and it's like driving me to imagine, and then my desire to know more is front and center. And then it just gives this, whether it's a song or like in the case of his album, Bringing It All Back Home, which is my favorite album of his, it's like, it makes it all the more special because you're so invested in like the connections he's making and why he's making them. And it's that, I don't know, it's that lateral sort of thinking that's like making these connections from A to Z instead of A to B to C. I really love that. Like anything is possible. And to me, that's so interesting in music, art, literature, whatever. But I did not choose Bob Dylan for this theme. And I actually think it would have been the perfect theme to finally choose for him. But we'll get to him in another episode, I promise.
I'm sure we will. We will. He's always under the surface.
So I went with another artist. She was born in Rome to a German mother and Italian father. She's lived in Italy, Germany, France, and New York.
I'm already confused.
I know. Who is this? She's fluent in 6 languages, and she was the lead singer of the Brazilian Girls, a band in which no member was Brazilian. So I'm talking about Sabina Schuba. And while I could have easily picked a Brazilian Girls song, I chose Viva l'Amor from her 2014 solo album.
Asked a man for a light and he caught on fire. I bought him a ticket, I was instantly hired. I bargained for a price, everybody got fired.
From the start, the song is lyrically baffling. We're getting into this surreal territory, and then her French accent and impishness contributes to this confusion and desire to like really know more, like what's she getting at here. But before we proceed with the song, I want to go back to the Brazilian Girls. Christina, were you a fan?
I found Brazilian Girls when I was in high school and loved them. Just like back then it was very hard for finding music the same way. So I think really what happened was I found a couple of tracks that I liked and then probably wasn't able to really listen to their music more in depth until I was in college and had access to the radio station's library of music, which, I ripped a bunch of CDs from there. But such a cool, very thoughtful band. But I never even questioned that they weren't from Brazil.
Yeah. No, I don't think I did until I started researching Sabina Schuba. That's when I started learning more about them. But I actually learned about them. I think their first album came out in 2005. And KCRW, during their fundraising drive, they would, if you donate a certain amount, you'd get some CDs. And the Brazilian Girls' first album was one of those CDs. So, yeah, I've been a subscriber, by the way, to KCRW since, I think, 2003. Pretty regularly.
KCRW, reach out.
Yes.
Reach out.
But yeah, I always loved their music, and it was sultry, but also silly, which I think that made it more interesting. And I almost picked their song Pussy from their first album for this theme. Warning for anyone wanting to look up the lyrics, NSFW. When you Google Brazilian Girls Pussy, the lyrics are not the first thing to come up.
Oh my God. Incognito window.
Yeah, no, I am not joking.
Maybe open your music platform of choice.
Yes.
Look there,
oh, for sure.
Rather than the net.
Because it's like pussy, pussy, pussy marijuana. And I'm like, what's the point of this? But yeah, go ahead and Google.
Wow. So good.
But yeah, so I only learned about Sabina Schuba and her solo career because I was watching the Zach Galifianakis show Baskets, where Schuba plays Penelope, his wife, who he met in Paris while studying to be a clone. A clone. And she basically uses him for a green card. And tell me if I'm wrong, but was Baskets one of our earliest connections where we're like, oh, somehow I brought it up and then you said you loved it. And I think I might have just been watching it. Do you remember that?
For some reason, I have like a memory of driving into campus and like talking about Baskets, but I'm like, if you would have been at campus, like, why would we have been talking on the phone? But maybe we had come from lunch or something. But yeah, like, I love Baskets. It was a COVID watch for me.
Oh,
Have we talked about it on the show? It's so funny and sad. He was a little delusional though,
yes.
thinking he could become a clown.
It was very cute. No, I love that
Yeah,
show.
It's a good show. I can't believe I didn't know that that's who that was, though. Like, in the show, she's such a glamorous, like, beautiful, very fun. I should have just immediately been like, of course, that's a musician.
Yeah. And she does sing. I feel like they do some episode where they kind of focus on her and they had a flashback to her singing.
Yeah.
But I just enjoyed seeing her. And I think it was that episode where she sings. I'm like, I wonder if this person's actually like a musician or something, because she's a very specific choice for this. And I Googled her name, and sure enough, this whole other like side of her, the Brazilian Girls, was shocking because I did
you were already familiar with.
Yeah, no, that was what
That's
was so
funny.
strange, because I love the Brazilian Girls, but I didn't know about Sabina Schuba. And then to see that she had a solo career too, and I immediately downloaded her album Toujours, which this is on, and just kind of got into her and her like mischievous ways. So in my mind, she's a classic trickster. Now, are you familiar with the book Trickster Makes the World, Mischief, Myth, and Art?
No, you should know I am a Philistine.
Okay. So this was written by Lewis Hyde in 1998, but based on ideas from Carl Jung. And Hyde calls the trickster a shapeshifter and boundary crosser who delights in slipping over social, linguistic, and even metaphysical borders to drive creativity and challenge societal norms. So Bob Dylan, classic trickster.
Big time.
Have you seen the movie yet? I know I asked you this a couple months ago, but it's on.
No,
it's streaming now.
But you know what? I saw the Rolling Thunder review. Have you seen that?
Yeah. You know what? I have not seen it.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's quite good.
I need to watch that. But
Okay.
so
Well,
you
now
got
I got one.
okay. Yeah, you got one. So I think in that movie you can probably get a sense of Bob though being this like trickster from even childhood or young adulthood. He said he was a circus cleanup boy, and he was kind of like a wannabe Dust Bowl refugee, and then eventually like a born again Christian. So always changing, always like kind of fucking with his audience. Every time I would go to a Dylan concert, I was always like, do I actually want to go? Because I'm not gonna like the way the music sounds as he performs it. Because you can't tell what the song is sometimes.
Oh, weird.
But that's also kind of the beauty of Bob.
I saw him once at Austin City Limits, the festival, and it was a big controversy because he had said that he wouldn't allow. So, you know how they have cameras at those big festivals that they show a projection like of the artist playing on the screen?
Yeah.
He wouldn't let them do any close-ups of him at all. So everything had to be shot from like pretty far away.
Yeah.
So you're watching a screen where you're supposed to see the artist, and it's from super far back. And so it was just really funny. There was like all this controversy. People were like, what's wrong with him? Why is he doing it? And I'm like, he's just fucking with y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing. I
So-
think like all of that is just, he's just fucking with his audience, and he's fucking with like the need for his audience and people to like be able to capture him. And he's just always evading that. And I love
he
that
doesn't
about
want to
him.
be figured out.
Yeah, exactly. So where Dylan's seeming nonsense, I think, often leans toward like tragic absurdity. Schuba plays with a more sensual, cosmopolitan surrealism. Yeah, so given the title of the song, Viva l'Amour, I kind of just think she was playing with the idea that love, or rather desire, makes you crazy, which really isn't so crazy. I don't know.
Thought I found a friend, but the man was far higher. He lent me a hand, led him to the fire of desire.
The song shifts from English to French, and the title is Spanish and or Italian, Viva, and then L'amour, French. But I'm like, well, why didn't she just call it Vive l'Amour? Keep it all French. Like, that's interesting that she chose Viva l'Amour, but I think it's just because she likes to like play around with language.
She's a citizen of the world.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's a polyglot. code switcher,
Yeah.
which is like the perfect trickster. Like the Brazilian girl songs, they slide between English, French, Italian, Spanish, German, Portuguese, and then like genre-wise, they do tango, dub, techno, cabaret, new wave, and there's always like that humor and self-awareness. I've never seen them live. I've never seen her live, but she's performed wearing a trash bag with Eurotrash written on it. So
Hang on. Love
yeah,
it.
right. And in an interview, she links her multilingual puns and stage antics to a broader belief that artists should dive deep into their magical side, letting absurdity expose deeper truths, which I can
love
get
that.
behind that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you see the video?
Yeah, it was amazing. Like right when you sent it to me, because I did not know her name, I recognized her face in the drawing. And I was like, who is that? How do I recognize her? So then when you broke it down for me, I was really tickled.
Yeah, great. So the video was directed by Oliver Clegg, and he uses thousands of hand-drawn frames of Shuba, and they kind of like mirror this song's kaleidoscopic lyricism, and it shows Shuba actually as like a shapeshifter, and she goes from like a lion to a lyre, and it's just it's so cool.
It is cool.
So we'll have that for everyone to check out.
Wow, that was a fun pick. I love how different our songs were.
Yeah.
It's always good to be confused. It keeps you thinking. What was that term?
The jouissance. It provides a sense of
yeah.
jouissance because then you want more. That lack makes you desire more, and then you become a part of the art. So I feel like in this episode, we have become a part of the art we so admire. So thank you.
Well, Christine, what theme do you have in store for us next week?
Let's just say we'll be yearning for it.
Thanks for listening to Stereothematica. If you like what you're hearing, please consider a review, a rating, or sharing with a friend.
And subscribe now on your favorite podcast platform and follow us on Instagram where you can share your favorite lyrical confusions.
And visit stereothematica.blog for more fun.